Hello everyone, it's me, Enstone Ninja here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about what I consider to be the top 5 rarest bear skins of all time. Now, first up, if a skin is available in the shop at the moment, it will not be included. So, even though skins like Rubber Mole, Encryption, Angelic, and Omen Mole would technically be rare, I'm not going to be including them because theoretically someone could spend an unbelievable amount of Robux and they'd get it anyways. Also, not all information here is going to be accurate. I don't have the exact numbers for these skins, so some of this is going to be guessing, so some of this is going to be wrong. The only thing that's for certain is the skin that's the number 1 rarest. And believe me, the number 1 rarest skin is absolutely insane. So, with all that being said, it's time I get into the video. First, here are some honorable mentions. Green Viking. Only 13,000 people own this skin, and it was going to be on the list until I noticed that there were some skins that would most likely be rarer. Plus, Green Viking was around for a pretty long time before becoming unobtainable. Next up are 4th Anniversary and Cake Lord. 4th Anniversary was most likely the least popular anniversary event, and since both of these two skins are relatively expensive and only came around one time, that's what also makes those skins rare. Then there's Leprechaun. Leprechaun's only on this list for being in one of the most obscure bear events out there, I'd say, and also due to overall not being interesting enough to where people would want to buy it. Then there's Uncle Sam. Same reasons as Leprechaun, although this skin is 44,000 quids, which means that even if people wanted it, they wouldn't be able to get it due to how expensive it is. Next up is Zob. Zob released at around the point when Bear was starting to lose its players, and since back then Bear's community wasn't as dedicated to getting anything rare as they are now, Zob never really got many owners. And finally, there's Ito. Ito isn't crazy rare in terms of numbers, with about 24,000 people owning it, but I think the sheer lack of time you had to get the skin is what makes it so difficult. From what I've heard, it was only around for 2 days before disappearing and never coming back. That's rare if you ask me. Anyways, we're done with honorable mentions, so I'll get into the video. The fact that Bear Swagger 999, a joke skin, is this rare is genuinely embarrassing compared to everything else. Now, what made Bear Swagger 99 so annoying to collect, you may be asking? Well, that's because it wasn't obtainable in Bear Alpha. You had to play a completely different game called Mega Easy Obby. I'm serious. You'd have to go through 250 stages of this obby, and when you made it to the end, you'd get a weird badge, which would get you the skin. Now, the thing is, many Bear players who didn't have Discord didn't even know there was a Mega Easy Obby that gave out a Bear Alpha skin. And because of this, so many people missed out on the skin when they could have gotten it. It's funny how 2 joke skins make up the top 5 of this list, as next up we have Afrocity. Now, what makes Afrocity so rare is that the way to obtain it is genuinely one of the weirdest things I've seen in Roblox Bear. What you had to do was join a game called Connect 4 by equipping the red pirate juice, playing Undead Coming 2, going to the sewers, and holding out the pirate juice on a specific wall of the sewers. Then, you get taken to Connect 4, and you have to have one of your Roblox friends join you. Then, you have to play Connect 4 and get a tie, and once you do, you'll be taken to this place where you walk down a hallway, walk back, get teleported to another place, wait 5 minutes, and then you get the skin. Also, if you touch the television in the final area, you have to do it all over again. Now, doesn't that sound weird? Yes it does. Considering just how obscure the obtainment method was, if the skin's obtainment method wasn't leaked, imagine how much rarer it would have been. However, around 10,000 people managed to get the skin. Now, I know that Bear Swagger 999 has objectively less owners than Afrocity, but here's the thing. The steps you have to do to get Afrocity are so weird, while with Bear Swagger 999, the only real hard part is knowing the skin even exists. Once you figure that out, you just play 250 obby stages and you have the skin. It's as simple as that. What I think this should show you is that numbers are not everything, and that effort can define something's rarity. Next up is Sam. Purely in terms of the amount of people who own it, Sam would be the second rarest. However, there are a few factors that I want to bring in. First up, this skin is very expensive, at around 90,000 quids. However, if someone really wanted the skin, they could just pay a bunch of Robux and they'd get the skin. Next up, Sam is confirmed to be coming back soon. Everyone wants it back, and Cheetahman has downright said that it will be returning. Because of this, that's why this skin is less rare than the next skin on the list, despite having less owners overall. Anyways, yup, Sam is still pretty ridiculous. It's 90,000 quid, which means that if you try, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time trying to get this skin. And if you don't, you're gonna have to suck it up and wait till next time, if there is a next time. Next up, this skin isn't really around for very long. The skin's only been in the game twice, one for the release of Bear Star, and the other randomly, I can't remember. Anyways, the skin's lack of time in the shop, plus its ridiculous price, are why it lands the number 3 spot in this list. I think we all expected Atrocity to make the list. First up, getting a skin requires a pretty heavy amount of effort. You have to go in the map Cheese Factory, do some steps, and yeah. It's not as obscure or weirdly done as Afrocity, but getting it without a guide is really tough. In fact, if there weren't any guides, there'd probably be less than 500 owners. Another thing you need to consider is that this was when Bear Alpha was really popular. There were thousands of players, so the fact that only 6,000 people managed to get this skin is really crazy. Like, imagine being one of those 6,000 people. I'm not one of them, I wasn't there at the time, and probably wouldn't have gotten it anyways. But the main reason why it's on this list is that Atrocity is never coming back. This is the one skin where the skin is so elusive to where it coming back would probably defeat the purpose of it being rare. Atrocity is the rare skin. It is the skin everyone knows for being rare. It and the number 1 skin are infamous for their rarity, and this skin deserves to be on the list for that reason. Despite that though, this skin isn't even close to being the rarest one on the list. Like, it's rare, don't get me wrong, but the next skin is so ridiculous that you'd need to win the lottery for it. So, let's do it. There is no doubt in my mind that Big Man Ting, also known as El Sam the Santa Bro, is the rarest skin in not just Bear Alpha, but in both Bear games. This skin is so unfathomably ridiculous to obtain that anyone who owns it immediately becomes a celebrity. Now, to get the skin in the first place, you have to beat a simple boss fight. Basically, shoot snowballs at this big Sam guy and eventually you'll win. That sounds straightforward, right? Well, not exactly. You see, every time you beat Santa Sam, the game will pick a random skin to give to you for winning. So, for example, Little Santa Sam has a 1 in 25 chance of being gone when you win. And if it gets a skin you already have, you get quids instead. You wanna know what the chances are of getting El Sam the Santa Bro as a reward for beating the boss fight? A 1 in 425,000 chance of being gotten. This means that if you were to play 1,000 matches of this boss fight, you would only have a 2% chance of getting the skin. In my opinion, the best amount of players to have for beating this boss fight is around 6, as it's not too much to where Santa's health will be too high, but not too little to where you'll be targeted by attacks. So, let's imagine you have 6 people, and on average you'll beat the boss fight in 2 goes. You'd probably do this in a spicy server so there aren't too many people joining, and Arctic Valley would probably appear 1 in every 3 matches in spicy servers. So, 2 minutes plus around 30 seconds of waiting for Arctic Valley to appear, assuming you're going AFK every time Arctic Valley isn't included so it'll appear way quicker. Now let's imagine you did this constantly, and you never had a second to sleep. On average, 1 attempt would be every 2.5 minutes. Times 2.5 minutes by 425,000, which is the average chance you have of getting it, and you get 1,062,500 minutes. Now let's divide that by 60 to turn it into hour terms, shall we? And now we get 17,708.333 repeating chance of getting it. But remember, we're playing with 6 other people. Any one of them could get the skin, so divide that number by 6 and we get 2,951 hours for for one of you to get the skin. What's the chance of that person being you? Now, to get it into day terms, let's divide a number by 24, and we get 122 days just for one of you to get the skin. One of the 6 people. And remember, that's a 1 in 6 chance of it being you who gets the skin. So with those ridiculous odds, and remember, not all this is accurate, the odds are actually lower than this, why are people spending hours of their life grinding for something that they're likely never going to get? This is what I mean when I say that winning this skin is comparable to winning the lottery. It is that insanely rare. And the skin used to be even rarer! Back in 2019, the skin was a 1 in a million chance of being gotten. That's more than twice as rare! Now you see why I always say, don't grind for this skin. That's why I don't count it. It is that ridiculous to where 3 people have gotten it legitimately. And that is why Big Man Ting is the rarest skin in Bear Alpha. Anyways, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot. We're getting close to Christmas, and I'm sure that's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Goodbye. LOL.